Hey, 420 MSP. I am here with Gary Allen, the CEO of New Frontier Data. We'll get to the what that company does in just a moment. But Gary, first of all, congratulations. Marijuana Venture Magazine named you as one of the most visible technology influencers in the cannabis space. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here, Harry.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about yourself, your background. I see you're coming up on 5 years with New Frontier Data. What's your personal story? Where have you worked in analytics much of your career? What's going on?
Sure, absolutely. Well, most of my career actually has been in the design, invention, and development of advertising technology, dating back, in technology at least. I mean, my first and only true W-2 job in a company that I didn't start was with ABN AMRO back in the 90s, huge, multinational bank. And there I created the very first mobile banking application ever in 1997. And from there went on to a company called Performix, which became DoubleClick, which was all sold to Google in a very media, in a very loud transaction, $3.6 billion.
Sure.
But at Performix, they'll get another digital marketing agency. They were based on performance marketing to begin with, but we were able to create and invent the first search marketing bid management tool that became the Dart Search product. It was called iSearch, became Dart Search. And then Google, of course, in 2007, 2008, Google bought the whole kit and caboodle. From there, went on to a company called Ad Guru, which is competitive intelligence, again, in advertising and specifically in search, with clients as large as Bing and in Nielsen. That ended up being sold off to Cantor Media. And then, went off into the agency world and learned a little bit more about agency and consulting, and instead helped start a company in Minneapolis. And that's where I found Giada Aguirre-DeCarcer, our founder, and New Frontier Data back in 2016. And I met them actually at the MJ Biz conference 2016 in Las Vegas. And to be candid with you, had no interest whatsoever in the cannabis industry. Was not something that I thought at the time, coming from mature markets and coming from, some very successful exits. Reputationally, I wasn't interested in the industry. After meeting New Frontier Data and talking to Giada Aguirre-DeCarcer and John Kagia, realized that the marijuana industry was just like any other industry. They need technology, they need smart people, they need vetted research and business intelligence. And as a technologist and engineer, if I could help bring that to a more mature fruition, then that's something I wanted to be involved with. And at my heart, I'm an entrepreneur. So very quickly, I was enamored with both Giada and John, and decided to join.
What's the basic business model with New Frontier Data? Are you selling the $2,500 market research studies, or what's the 411?
Man, if we could get $2,500 for a report in cannabis, that would be wonderful. But no. So we have three areas of business.
Okay.
We're market research. Our DNA is in data collection, data analysis, research, data vetting, and really understanding the key drivers in the entire business, in every vertical ecosystem of the cannabis industry. And so we have our market reports, which have been probably the most trusted in the industry for the last 7 years.
Yep.
We're a technology company at our core. All of this data, and if you remember back in 2013, 14, 15, collecting data about cannabis was really only done by two groups of people: the cannabis growers themselves, or law enforcement for the indictment that they're going to get after on the cannabis growers. And so earning the trust of the cannabis industry that we were going to take their data and help make more professional the conversation
Yeah.
and make more professional the market research, and the investments that come out that come as a result was really important. And we've been very successful in doing that. So with market research and technology, the third part is consumer understanding. And this is really, the last 3 years, taking all of that market research and understanding everything from, pesticides to power usage in the cannabis industry. As with every other consumer economy, we had to start to really understand, what are the consumers doing? How do they feel? What do they know? And how do you engage with them? And so we've spent the last 3 years investing a lot of money and a lot of time, for example, little data, right? As a data company, we have interviewed in our various surveys a little bit north of 30,000 consumers live in 20-minute interviews over the last 3 years. We've analyzed more than $7 billion in transaction and shopping cart information. And we've archetyped it and identified more than 167 million probabilistic consumers in the United States alone. And so that's what New Frontier Data does.
Man, I'll tell you, I did a tour of duty in analytics and my head's about to explode. So congratulations. Great business model. Final question. Name one or two events where you're an influencer, where might they find you? And again, assuming events are happening. Okay, let's make an assumption.
Well, you know what? It is, yes, let's make the assumption that events are happening. And here's the thing, they really are happening. Whether they're live or they're virtual, the industry has shown amazing resilience over the last 18 to 24 months, right? Prior to COVID, the industry was in a huge capital crunch. People still got out, pressed the flesh, made sure that their businesses were understood, made sure that they were meeting new customers. With COVID, obviously, webinars and virtual conferences have taken hold, and people are starting to go back to live conferences. For example, our founder and executive chairwoman, she was just a keynote speaker at ICBC in Germany. She followed it up with the Zurich Investors Conference. For us, used to be in 2018, if you asked me that question, the answer would be everywhere. We spent money to be in every single conference. I think we went to 83 conferences in 2018. Wow. This year, obviously, we're going to be more selective. MJ Biz there's always a pretty good chance that we're going to be there. Maybe not as a sponsor, but definitely as a participant. And we really understood with the size of our brand at this point, making sure that we invest our money and our resources in making those connections and those relationships is a little bit more important to us anymore than just plastering our name all over everything.
I agree.
So I would say this year, you'll probably meet a few people at MJ Biz. And then as we round out January, there are always a few conferences that happen in January, like Benzinga and things like that we will most likely be at. You also find us this next quarter, we're making a number of acquisitions and we're going to be very active in the market. And so we'll be everywhere.
Well, that's the best answer I've heard all day. So I'll keep an eye out for you at MJ BizCon, roughly mid-October this year, 2021, about a week after that. But thanks for being on the podcast and congratulations on being an influencer.
Thank you again, Harry. And it's a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure. We'll be here anytime you want.
All right. Thank you.